How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the North Carolina Cryptid and Paranormal Project. My name is Tom, and I'm the host of the show. And glad everybody can make it tonight. We have a special guest. We have a return guest of Tricia Brown. She does, you know, spiritual, Reiki, empathy. She has, a lot of ability. She's done courses, spiritualist, and she has some answers and some information to give us tonight about metaphysical and how it attributes to energy of all sizes and sorts, and we'll go into like how it connects with cryptids as well towards the end. But we're gonna bring her in, so here she is.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So, yeah, good
Welcome
job
back.
trying to express what it is I do and what I'm about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, the last time there was a Christmas tree behind me,
Hmm.
the last time I was on the show.
Oh wow, that's a while back then.
Yeah.
So if you want to do like a quick recap of what you do and kind of like what you deal with, and we can go from there.
Okay. Well, it's been a lifelong experiences, and lots of spiritual, metaphysical, paranormal experiences, mystical, since I was like 2. So, I mean, I started like in elementary school trying to, wrap my mind around what was going on and be a kid and then have these experiences and so, I mean, at a young age, I started gathering information, gaining knowledge, studying, reading, learning. And so it's been a lifelong of gaining more knowledge and gaining more knowledge, and all in between that, continuing to have experiences. And yes, I do have Reiki 1, Reiki 2. In 2006, is when I really was wanting to start my psychic development or inner senses development. I had been having these experiences where I would have precognitive, where, anywhere from a lot of knowing who was calling before I'd answer the phone. I would be talking to somebody and this, like, let's say a word would pop into my head, like cherry.
Right.
And then like seconds later, that person would say something like, "Oh, I just bought some cherries," and just so many just things that were like on and on and on of just these ESP things, extrasensory perception or multi sensory perception. And, I really gather as much knowledge as I can over the years, listening to spiritual teachers. And just recently, a man named Gary Zukav has some really great books. One of them is called Seat of the Soul. And just this one I started listening to today called Spiritual Partnership. And I realized, wow, he is like describing me in my life, where it's like I'm really big into meaningful relationships with people and being in like top high integrity. And I've spent years taking workshops and classes on all sorts of different personal growth things. And then through, sports, grew up playing lots of sports in my life, super into the outdoors. And so it's like a correlation of different things that I've been into. And so just for a lot of years now, I've been like really, really into spiritual studies. And in 2000,
Quick question for you. Like you said, you got into it. Was this before 2001 or after 2001 when you started getting these like feelings in your head where you started recognizing things? Was it before?
what do you mean? Like,
Like you
the feelings?
started getting these precognition like
Oh
thoughts
my
in your
God, since I was a little kid, like
So my
I,
question is, did you get anything feeling before 9/11? Because I was going to talk about 9/11. If you had any feelings of something bad was going to happen, some kind of
no, that's
tension.
not really, I don't really have, well, okay. I do have very strong intuition. We all have intuition. It's like part of our apparatus, intuition. And I wasn't having anything about that. That day I was on a first day at a job in a dental office. So I was super tuned in to like having to get up to get ready to go to this new job. So no, I did not have any of that.
Okay,
I
because
did
some
not have
people do. Some people mention it. Like, my wife said she felt weird that morning. Like I think she was late for work or she missed work, and she's working like right across the seaboard on the Jersey side, and I think she missed work, and she missed it for a reason. She was late for work, so she would have been like right there, right along the Jersey City, New York City border. So,
okay.
but she had that. I just had some kind of feeling to stay back and not go to work that day in the morning. So.
I heard my alarm went off and I heard like the news, talking about a plane hitting a building. And in my mind, I imagined a little like a Cessna hitting into a house.
Right.
And then I was, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I've had periods of time in my life where, and I've been able to link it to my lots of playing sports and lots of working out and lots of doing things that are very like almost meditation like, where my abilities would amp up. And so, I mean, that time frame, actually, I was working at that dental office, and that's where when I was having a lot of like the phone would ring and I would know what patient was calling. I had that happen a lot, but it had, I guess, in my own life, I have where I will have an intuition of something, and something will tell me, do this or don't do that. And when I listen to it, it always turns out the best thing to have done. And when I didn't listen to it, is when it was like my inner being, my inner self, and the guidance that we have for us at all times was trying to tell me something. And I was still kind of, at that time, I was purposely trying to understand about intuition. And so I was thinking, is it telling, am I being told to go do this thing, or am I being told to not go do this thing? And and I kept thinking, oh, that means I should go. But then I would have another thing that was trying to get me to not go, so, so I know I don't have it like that. It's not, I don't have a lot of, I know that there's this, one of the examples of intuition is that you'll know like when someone's about to die, or when there's a bad thing going to happen, or, that sort of thing. I guess I haven't experienced that. I haven't, I have experienced a lot of other ways that my abilities have helped me and others in life that I can tell you about. I just haven't had that. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of years, I would binge watch a lot of the 9/11 stuff. And I realized yesterday was 9/11, and I started scrolling on like whatever Netflix or whatever. And I decided for the first time in all those years, I'm like, no, I think I've had enough of going back through that all again, so I just sort of didn't watch anything to do with 9/11 yesterday. I knew it happened. I know it's a big deal. I get it. But so.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that you like when you were, just kind of off topic for a second. Like, everyone kind of knew where they were. Like when,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you were living at that time, whether you were a teenager, you were, elementary school, whatever, an adult, like everyone kind of knew where they were, kind of like Pearl Harbor. And it's like,
Yes.
as people get older, people are dying off that were, and as long as we keep bringing that up, that otherwise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've spent a lot of years watching all the 9/11 things. Yes, because yes, it was a big deal to me. I was freaked out. I was living in the mountains at the time, in California, and on 72 acres of the most amazing land in the Los Gatos Mountains, which is attached to the Santa Cruz Mountains. So like living in a redwood forest with some springs, and you'd hear, it was just amazing. I loved it there. And first day at the dental office, working in the front office, and I had to, drive down into, through the mountains down into town. And they had a TV in the lobby, and I watched it live, the second plane, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, what is happening? It was traumatizing. It was a little traumatizing for me. I'm sensitive. I don't really watch the news that much. I can't, I can't do it. I can't save everybody. It's like, I don't, it's too overwhelming. But yeah, that was etched in my mind to literally watch that live happen. And I should have said, I want to go home. Why did I try to stay at work all day? It was a crazy day. Who knows what was going to happen next, right? And then I remember there was some white powder, like, I don't know if it was like days after that, but there was some white powder in the bathroom, and I was like, oh my God, there's anthrax in here.
Yeah, that
I
was
was 30, so I was 31 when that happened. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, little
now
side.
you're giving away your age to everybody, so you don't want
That's
to do
okay. I'm
that.
52. August 4th, I turned 52. It's
So I
okay.
have a question from Al Santariga. Can you see under the screen where it says where he's asking a question? Can you see that?
Have you ever experienced psychometry? Have I done that? I like to touch walls. I like to go to, like, when I've gone to buildings or ancient places, I like to touch the wall to see if I can, just to kind of, feel like I am touching an object that people that were living in 800 were there. Have I experienced any being able to pick up on things? I would say that's not as much of as my strengths.
Mhm.
It's not as much of a way that I would, have
Right.
these sudden. My thing is, people will tell me because my background is, I was a dental assistant for 24 years, worked in the dental field. I've worked with all aged people, and then I've taken care of kids a lot of my life, in different work environments. So, lots of very listening, doing the that investigative mode where you're gathering the information. And so I think that, and then that my background in my younger years with the dysfunction of my family, that, you makes you be very sensitive to your surroundings and, like, very in tune. And so, how I've been forever is, I'm empathic, but then I've learned how to be more compassionate, which,
Mhm.
being, empathic, you pick up on people's things, stuff, emotions, but I can also pick up on, other living things too, which may sound weird. But, like, I have connected to animals, like, deeply.
Mhm.
I've been able to
Shows.
connect.
I mean, that shows big time because you have your parrot. I mean, your parrot just hangs out on your shoulder wherever, like, and it's so obedient. It's like it's
Mhm.
almost like it's trained to, like, just be there and not fly away, and, like, that's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
she'd rather, that's her spot. Like, she'd rather, actually, my left shoulder is her spot. But I'm like, we got to be over here sometimes. But I mean, I'm talking also about wild
Right,
animals.
right.
And then, like, looking in someone's eyes too, like looking in someone's eyes, in
Mhm.
animals' eyes, I can feel their personality. I can connect. And okay, so let me tell you. So people will share with me, and I listen. I like to hear people's lives. I like to know what people are about and who they are. And you can still feel the terror. Is that about nine
Yeah,
11?
they're talking about the city in New York City area.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So when people tell me about themselves, sometimes, a lot of times I will be able to know something to help them. And so, because I've spent so many years gathering information about so many different topics, about relationships, interpersonal skills, how to deal with difficult people, my own stuff, and then just these different interests that I have, that when I'm able to kind of use my intuitive side and my intellect side, and then offer some help or offer some words that might help somebody who's stuck continuing to go down to the end of the road, and they're not getting, somewhere to go. You got to go left and then right and then over there, and it's something they never thought of before. Or I help people to raise their consciousness so that they know what they, something that they did not realize before. There's a lot of different areas, but like usually what will happen is I will feel so compelled to call that person and say some things to them, and or find someone that I haven't talked to in years, and feel the need to like connect with them to tell them just these different. There's these different ways that I use my inner senses, from one to the other, So I was able to recently use the dowsing rods.
Okay.
And I was, sometimes I'll just feel like asking out loud to the room, like a question. And I was in this lighthouse and I said, "Are you a Native American?" And the things went, "Wah!" Like literally, like so far back, they banged into my shoulders. That's how far they, and I was able to ask questions, but like, it's not like I can go into a room and there's a spirit in there and I, like can get all their answers for them. I have been able to help the spirit, and I have been able to help loved ones in the way that I do it. It's just, we all have our different ways that we are able to use our abilities. So
how do you help people, like if they have like a spirit that's like bothering them?
Okay, that's something I can really do. Actually, I have helped a lot of people with that exact thing. It's a combination of things that you want to do. You want to make sure that you are cleaning up your own vibration, that you're doing things to raise your vibration, that you're making sure that you're feeling happy and doing whatever it takes to take care of yourself and care about how you feel, because it's metaphysics, it's physics. So can you hear my parrot in the background?
I hear something. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I heard something grunting or
It's
groaning or
like,
making some kind of noise.
hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
So it's physics. So if there is now, okay, the world is like a buffet. Okay. You walk to the table and there's everything on the table. You only put on your plate what you want. You're not going to put on your plate the green blob in the corner. So you're going to leave that alone. You don't sit there and talk about the green blob, because you just carry on. You put what you want on your plate and you carry on. Okay. What people do though, in the metaphysics side, is they don't realize that if they talk a lot about the thing, they're building the momentum of the connection. There's some reason why the spirit got there, but if you can do your side, we are our own point of attraction on this planet. So if you do your part, and then you're only focusing on the things that are important to you, and taking care of yourself and feeling happy and peaceful and paying attention to what you're thinking about, then that spirit that's not good cannot be in your space. It's just not physically, in physics, it's not possible.
Right.
So it works the same with a physical person or a non-physical.
That's
And
what I was going to ask you too. About raising vibration. Like when your vibration is low, it's like
mhm,
almost like on a negative side. When it's
yeah.
higher, it's a positive thing. And I've also heard that white noise can drive things away from picking up to you or from clinging to you. A white
Oh,
noise
like white
frequency.
noise.
What
Well,
is
I mean, if it has the frequency that doesn't match. So basically what I talk a lot about is, you want to, you know, there's levels of emotion. from the bottom is despair and depression, and the top is love, joy, knowledge, empowerment. This, and then, all in between and down. Okay. So if you're, a lower energy, a lower vibrational being is not going to resonate. It can't resonate with the higher vibration. So you want to kind of get to where you're at least in like hope, positive expectation, eagerness about life, happy, passionate, appreciation. That was the other one I wanted to say. Feeling appreciation is like a good way to have your vibration be and stay high. Really think about what you're appreciative about and really feel the feeling of appreciation. And so, I'm really about like having connections with the people, non-physicals and the physicals who are more in the higher realms, the higher vibrations. Human emotions can be powerful for sure. I mean, from one extreme to the other. Yes. So it's, you really want it. Let's say, okay. So yes, like last week I was talking to a lady that said that there's been a lot of stuff been going on at her house. Okay. Not good stuff. And like, one of the things is what I've learned is you don't want to, when it's something that you want to build the momentum of the energy of it, you talk a lot about it. You give it lots of detail. Okay. If it's something not good, you be vague. You give it less detail.
Mm-hmm. So you're feeding it energy, giving it power. The more energy you give something, the more power you give it to survive.
Because it's like spinning a top, so it's like the vibration is, yes, it's keeping it active. You yourself are keeping it active by talking about it, by acknowledging it, and then the more that you do that, then it builds their knowing. They know that I'm here. So I've had a couple times in my life where I felt. Well, one time I felt something was next to my bed. It was so strong. I had the worst EBG. It gave me the worst EBGBs I've ever felt. And I just pulled the blankets over my head and I turned and I held still. And I just held there. I don't know how long I was there. Maybe 20 minutes, half hour. I don't care. Like, I was not going to acknowledge that thing. And it finally went away. And that's what I'm like, it will go away. If you just like when we learn we're little kids, when the annoying kid is bugging us, ignore it, it'll go away. Okay. And then you ignore it. And then you also focus on other things. You give your attention to the good stuff in your life, the things that you want to come into your life. Find some things to think about that make you feel good. You want to feel good. You are like, there is no law of, what do you call it? There's no law of assertion and there's no law of repelling. There's only the law of attraction. So you can't be like, no, because then you're still paying attention to that, right? You have to say yes to something else. And when you say yes to the something else, and that's what you're focusing on, and then you're allowing the vibration of the other thing to dissipate, slow down, and stop. It's like a train. A train takes a little time to slow down and to speed up. So, does that? I'm
for you.
So, what?
Question for you.
When you connected to an animal? Oh my God. Okay, thank you for yes. I wanted to talk about that. Okay, so this one was like so profound. Okay, I grew up fishing. I've been fishing since I was like with my little pole, flinging my little fake frog in the water when I was like 3. And I used to love to do it. But it was more about the casting and aiming at something and like hitting the spot and then reeling for me. So let's see, when was it? 2017, 2018, I can't remember. I was living in Savannah, Georgia, and I was being the gardener landscaper for this guy that had his house on Tybee Island, and his backyard was on a tidal creek. It was amazing. So he would take me out on his boat. And this one day, we would go out on his boat, and he would do this stupid thing. It was so irritating. I felt like he was treating me like his kid. He'd be like, he'd catch a fish and he'd say like, do you want me to let this one go, or should I keep it? I'm like, I don't want to pay attention to what you're doing over there. It's not I don't do what you got to do with your fish. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, this one day he had his brother out there with us. And, okay. So also I'm from California, so I'm used to seeing certain fish over there. Mm-hmm. So now coming over, living in Georgia area, and right. I saw this fish. It's called a redfish. I'd never seen a fish like that. I'm just so into animals and stuff. I just was blown away by this fish. Was so amazing looking to me. And so his brother caught this redfish, and it was big enough. It was a bigger one, but I know that they get really big, but from what I saw, mm-hmm. for me at that moment, it was, I don't know, like it was just a little bit bigger, and he caught it, and the fish made eye contact with me. That's all. Me and the fish looked me in the eyes, and I felt what he was feeling. Mm. And he was like, basically it was like, oh my God, what's happening? Where am I? Type thing. And I was like, oh my God. And I was frozen. I don't know why didn't I say something? Why didn't I be like, oh my God, put him back? Or I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe it was because it was his brother, and I just didn't, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. I wish I would have, though, because it was just not, ever since I can't fish. There is no way I will ever fish ever again in my entire life. I felt who he is. I felt his personality. I felt like he was a dad. He was being taken from his home. And then, oh God. I've seen where birds are flying and they're holding the fish. And like all of a sudden it's like, I'm imagining I'm that fish and seeing that view and being like, oh my God, what's happening to me? So, that was so profound, like that, experience. And so if I could go back, I would have said, please let that guy go. I just feel really sensitive I'm just very sensitive, and the more I've gotten into these studies and like the meditation and the, applying the teachings, the more sensitive I become. When doing a cleansing, how do you keep the negative energy from draining you? Okay, so that's a really good question. So if you do it the right way, it can't drain you. If you feel drained, that I don't. That's you're connecting in some way to it. They feed on our emotions. Well, they're connecting to the emotion. So if you're feeling happy, it's not going to resonate. It can't, so they may not like it. I've experienced that where with people, like an unhappy person does not like happy people. So they're going to try to mess with you and that kind of thing. So you got to just do your protecting yourself by like not giving them attention and like being focused on your own self and your own centered groundedness, So I tell people, do scent, like essential oils, have high vibration, have essential oils on you, around you, sage, sweetgrass, sage is good. And then you do the sweetgrass. So then it's like you're cleansing the air, the energy, and then you're adding in the other, positive energy in there. But I also make sure to open a window and windows. Get that you gotta let the energy out. Right. So I've had experiences with I had experience with a turtle too. By the way, I was like, walking in Georgia, I was walking across a bridge, like a footbridge or whatever. I looked down into the water, and there is a snapping turtle. The water was so clear, I could see him like 4 feet down or 5 feet down. And we looked up, he looked up at me, and I looked down, and we made eye contact. And just little things like that are just really, really neat. But the literally getting to feel the personality of the fish and feel like what he was feeling, that was profound. One time I walked up to a potted plant, and I felt the plant excited that I was coming over to it. It felt like it was like a dog or something. Like it was trippy. I've had where the plants moved, like to let me know that they were living. They're obviously living, but there's a consciousness there, and they were letting me know. So these sorts of things. So, all right, I want to go back to a little bit more about the answering that question about the not getting drained. Okay, I have my ways. Like I can teach people how to do stuff at their house, and I don't have to be there. I don't need to walk around in the house.
Right.
I can say, do this and don't do that. Take notes. I have a lot to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in a house that feels weird,
heavy,
I will sage the shit out of it. I will get like the bundle, and I will just let it like be like and just permeate the whole space. And I say, how do I say it? Negative. I say negative energy, leave this space. God's love and grace be put in its place. And I say that over and over and over again. I love to visit my plants. Oh yeah. I after having these experiences with other things, the Exorcist, what does that mean?
I was joking about, the energy's draining you out and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
About the saging and all that.
Yes, sage, and then you sage yourself, the chakras in your own body, the bottoms of your feet all around you. You can also help, do it to each other. So having doing it multiple times too. I also feel like guided sometimes, like do it right now, do it right now, do it right now, like that. Like it just doesn't stop. Like whether it's telling me to do something or telling me to talk to someone or tell that person that thing, it's like and I've heard other people say this too in their process. They'll feel like this almost like anxiety or like some like tension build up, like, oh my God, I have to do this thing. And then once you do it, then it goes away, that feeling.
Wow.
So what else? Music. In my spiritual study school, one of my modalities is called, I have combined distance healing with color and sound therapy. And we were given a CD with, it's called the Kadosh Hymn. It's a Jewish Hebrew, and it's very powerfully positive. So music that you like, okay, music that fires you up. It doesn't matter if you feel super energized, it's Metallica, whatever. If you're like, yeah, I could, yeah, that's good too.
Raise your vibration.
Yes, because you're happy and you love it. You're feeling good. But yes, there's certain music that that has very high frequency that when you play it, it will definitely change the energy because it's going to harmonize. It's going to harmonize with it. Does that make sense?
It's like worship music at like a church, like that high-end worship music raises your energy and builds you up and gets you on a higher.
Yeah. I mean, there's there's different, just in general, like, what is it? Oh my God. Like the song from Somewhere in Time is another one that we were given. AVE, is it Ave Maria, however you say it. That was another one. There's just different music that you can just blast it, play it in the house, and it can't help but either what's going to happen is you're going to leave because you got to get away from that space. It'll veer you to somewhere else. You'll get led to somewhere else to live, or else because you can't be in the same space. If you're a happy, positive person, you cannot be in the same space with a not. Either you're going to get fired or they're going to get fired, or vice versa of whatever the thing.
Yeah, one of them's got to go.
Yeah. Have you ever came across a psychic vampire? Oh my God. Well, yeah. I mean, I've dealt with people that are like, oh my God, I gotta like, they're, but I've learned again, I've taken I want to make sure I want to learn in my life how to deal with all this stuff. Yes. Because I mean, and a lot of that stuff is in my past, all the people, those situations, whatever. And I've learned, some people you got to give them like literally almost like, let's say it's a landlord or something, very little attention, because then they're going to try to get in there and talk to you, and you got to do your thing.
2 syllables, 2 words, and peace. It's like that, because they bring the negativity. They bring down your positivity and make you negative by their energy.
You want to be the influence, okay? You have to be the influence. You can't, you don't want to be lowering your vibration to be in, I've had to learn myself that from now on for the rest of my life, I know things that I'm not going to pretend I don't just to make someone else feel good about themselves or whatever. I mean, because if I lower myself to fit in that's not good. That's my fault though. That would be my own responsibility to be like, it'd be like, let's say, I'm just going to make up something, you're really good at puzzles, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into the room where there's a whole bunch of people in there that hate puzzles, don't know how to play puzzles, but for some reason you want to try to fit in with them. So then you're going to lower yourself to like not know how to play puzzles, so then you can, so that you can please all those people. That doesn't make sense. So higher vibration, love, appreciation, you got to just stay up in those realms and, allow the energy to come up to you, just like I reach for source energy. You want to stay connected to source energy at all times. That's when you're aligned. You have amazing things happen. You have synchronistic experiences. You have mystical experiences. You get to connect with the non-physical in amazing, wonderful, fun ways. They help you, you help them. So that's like more what I would say, go for that. If you want to have an experience, if you want to test out metaphysics, do it with, positive experiences. Last week, I went with my friend and her husband and sister. We drove over to go to one of these restaurants that has like fun things where they throw rolls and, whatever. And then after that, we decided to do a little bit of like, let's go to that bar restaurant. And then let's go to that bar restaurant, like some, drive over here, drive over there. And I'm always about looking for the parking spot. I'm looking for the parking spot, but some people are like, we're never going to find a parking spot. It's too busy, right? They're setting their own reality, they're setting it their own thing. And so I'm going to be the influence. I'm not falling into that. Like, I know better. I know how it works, so I didn't get wrapped up in it. I just kept saying, oh, I know that there's a parking spot over on that side. I just kept saying that, but they still wanted to go over to the other side and like wander around with no parking. And I just said, just try, just go over there and see, just go see. So we pulled in, 2 spots opened up. We had 2 spots on a day where it's like, it's packed. Okay. So that happened. And then later in the night, I had to go check on some animals. So then they went over to the next place and I met up with them, and I got there. It was like perfect timing right before the band's going to start. Got my drink or whatever. And this band, it was like 2 guys, and they had such dry tone of voice, like, and it was like a little bit country with like, I imagine like 2 guys sitting out on their like back porch. Just one dude was a bass player and whatever. It was kind of boring, it was like, this kind of sucks. But I was like joking around. I'm like, oh my God, like, wouldn't it be trippy if all of a sudden they blast it? Like, let's imagine, like, I go, so let's pretend, this is what I was saying. Let's make up something. Like, let's see if if they'll play what we're thinking. And so here they are playing like country music and like stuff that was super boring. I'm into like more like, I'm a pop rock person, classic rock, whatever. So all of a sudden in my mind, I thought of this song by The Outfield. Josie's on a vacation far away. Do you know that song?
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
I do. I know.
That popped into my head. Okay. All right. I think that, and then like me and my friend and her sister, we left for a little bit and came back. And so like first song, I'm sitting there, they start playing that song. Josie's on it. I was like, no way. What are the odds?
You know what? That's kind of similar to like, when you turn on the radio and you think of a song, and all of a sudden after the commercial, that song you're thinking of comes on. So that's like the energy field of,
it's being like aligned. It's like an alignment, like where you see ones a lot, that kind of thing. So they told me that when they were, and this is like the kind of work I like to do. The Outfield. Yes, totally. I like helping people have realizations and like raising their consciousness so that they're now at another level. They never come back, meaning they never go back down. They now know forevermore something that changes their life for the better. And so when they were coming back to find a parking spot at this next place, the husband starts in, we're never going to find a parking spot. And then he stopped himself and was like, you know what? We're going to find a parking spot. And they come around, they got a parking spot. And you know what? It's just, some of these things I'm talking about, you have to live it. You have to experience it yourself to realize like the impact that we each have here. We are creating our reality, so I don't want to lose you. Yeah. Yeah. So, being in alignment, being connected to source energy as much as you possibly can will protect you, will keep you, having experiences, that you want to have. You want to pay attention to your intuition, and it helps you to know where to turn, where to go. Don't go here, don't go here, don't step there, whatever. It's your reflexes are where all of a sudden like you're walking and you're going downstairs, all of a sudden you slip and your reflex makes you stick your hand out against the wall and then you save yourself. That's all part of that.
That's like sometimes I've wandered off the road in the past, and luckily I caught myself so fast, or I caught my wheel while driving.
Oh my
God. And if I didn't catch it that fast, like reflexes and whatever else, guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, like I probably would have been like off the road in a ditch, wrecked vehicles.
Oh my God. Let's not talk about that. But you were saved and carried on with life. Good for you. So, what else? What else do we want to talk about? What other questions do people have? Did I answer a question? Should I go into more detail?
If someone has like another question, and if not, we'll give it like a minute or so. If you want to go kind of like the relativity to the cryptids, we can finish off kind of like on that.
Yeah,
on that.
we have a lot. We could talk about.
Oh yeah.
I know. My thing is, I want people to have good experiences out there, and out in the woods. I want people to be paying attention to what they're saying about their lives, about how it's going to go when they're out there. Let's say people have had not great experiences, right? Let's say people have had where they feel that they have felt scared out there, that their interaction was not good, so that's where you can just start right here, right now, and practice some of these things that I'm talking about, where, you do your part where you're taking care of yourself so that you are paying attention to what you're thinking about, what you're saying, what you believe in. And as you do that, you're going to attract to you the next thought and the next thought. That's just how it works in metaphysics. After about 16, 17 seconds, if you've given your thought attention, focused attention, you're going to attract to you the next thought and then the next one. And so it doesn't matter whether it's a positive thought or a negative thought. And so if you're in a mindset of there's bad things out in the woods, and that you're kind of nervous and scared, you're gonna attract to the same realm of experience that is going to go along with what you're feeling and what you're thinking. So I have really put these teachings to the test. Okay. Because I have had, good and not good experiences in my life with people, with the non-physical, and so, mostly good experiences. So, I was like, I don't want to open my eyes anymore and see creepy dudes in my room, because I was wandering around in a cemetery, and then this guy felt like he could come and stare at me while I sleep or whatever. What can I do to stop that? Mm-hmm. And I like listening to medicine people and the elders and the shamans, talk about these experiences that you can have with the physical world, the natural world. And so I have done the work, and I have these experiences where, you see a being of light walk by, or, a plant moves, or something falls out of midair to say, yeah, look, there's mystical things in this world to see. So I told you last time that me and my animals teleported from one part of the forest to another. And that turned out to be just it was a trippy experience, but I survived. Nothing bad happened. I can now, go, oh my God, that is true. There are portals. There are portals out there. I experienced it. And maybe I got to have an experience like what the Sasquatch do. I mean, maybe that's one of the ways that they travel is through these portals.
Yeah. That makes sense, to where people say there's one footprint and then there's nothing after that. So if that goes to the portal theory, or they're resonating into a portal, that makes sense. Where there's one footprint, they go into the portal and they're gone into the other, to the other side, whatever. If it's dimension, metaverse, whatever it may be, that makes sense, to where there's only people are finding one print or two prints, and it just completely stops and goes into, there's nothing left.
Well, that was when I was very first, kind of even thinking about that topic. That is the first thing that made sense to me, is how is there only one footprint, and so, and then I saw like a partially materialized one. And so they're obviously able to somehow be partly interdimensionally. I don't get how it all works, but I had an experience the other day I want to tell you about just you tell me if you ever heard anyone say something like this. Like, we're talking about something being able to kind of pop in and pop out of the dimension, right? That's what's happening. They're able to somehow come in and go out. So I was animal sitting, and at these people's house in Pensacola, Florida, and I had their two dogs I had to leave the house for like an hour. I put their dogs in their crates. I had my parrot sitting on her perch, and then my dog was there just wandering around the house, and there were two cats in the house. And I have taken care of these animals like 5 different times, so they all know each other. The cats are just don't care about Manny. Manny's been around all sorts of animals. Cats usually they don't see her as a little bird that they're gonna try to get. Right. So
everything.
What?
They're conditioned to you and the bird, so they know they're comfortable with you now, since you've been there so much. Right.
Yeah. And so, that was like a non-issue. And in my life with Manny, I've had her almost 26 years. And there's been, in all those years, there's only been 2 times where, I try to say it like this. Her beak punctured skin. I'm just going to say it like that because it has to do with the story. Okay. And when it punctured the skin, it dripped blood in a certain way. And that happened, where one guy, the only way it could have happened, I didn't watch him do it, but I saw that his finger was bleeding. He had to have reached out and stuck his hand in her face, and she just, no one likes somebody sticking their hand in your face. I mean, so, so when I got home, I was gone for like an hour and a half. I checked on all the animals. One of the cats likes to go hide somewhere and he'll come out, eventually. He's fine. I saw 3 drops of blood on the tile right by Manny's perch, like on the, like, and it, there was no, blood in any of the dogs' crates. It wasn't like, because one of the dogs will, I was trying to like make sense of all of this. Where did these drops of blood come from? I've ruled out everything. It wasn't from any of the dogs. It wasn't from Manny. Manny was fine. There was no blood under her, like on the papers right under where she stands. It was only in this spot. One of the cats that I was able to find was peaceful, not acting weird, no chunks missing, no splatters of blood from anywhere on that cat. And then the only thing I could think of was maybe the black cat like stuck its paw in her face. And so I'm like, oh shit, like I'm going to have to deal with that. And the cat came out, nothing. Cat looked totally fine, totally intact, nothing wrong. And and so when I went to go to this other house, when I was gone for like an hour, I asked the lady, it was like to do it like a meet and greet for watching those animals. And I asked her, have you ever had any experiences in this house? And she said, I haven't, but my friend saw a guy standing in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So I have some thoughts of what happened. It could have been either that guy, as I was talking about my animals, he could have decided to come check Manny out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe this was my one of those times where, Tricia, since they cannot get to you, they went after a friend or family member? What do you mean? What is that?
I guess the negative energy or spirits or whatever, since they couldn't get to you, have they ever tried to go after a friend or a family member of yours?
I haven't ever known of that happening.
Well, that's good.
I'm trying to think about. No, I don't. It doesn't like work like that. It's not, I mean, in my experience, my understanding, it's just, I mean, I've heard of other people talking about that. Like one person wasn't having experiences and the family member was. I just haven't, I have, as far as I know, I have not experienced that. But this makes me like think about, an experience I want to tell you guys. So I think my brother, he was in jail at one point for a little while. And I think he did bring some stuff over to my parents' house. He lived at their house for a little while. And then he moved back out. And then later on, when I was transitioning from Southern California to Northern California, I did stay with them for a while. I did see some things going on in that house. And I think it was affecting my mom. I saw these couple beings that look like, I mean, we make up a word. We use words, right, that correspond, like labels. We put labels on things to describe. Mm-hmm. So I call it like a subhuman. It looked like human, but it was kind of creepy. It was very creepy looking, and it was crawling up my bed, and it was like a male form. And then, I tell it to get the fuck away from me or whatever I say. And I saw this very big, shape, like male figure in the family room one time. And then um, I woke up, I look over, and he, like, this is going to sound really weird, but you know, there's weird beings out there.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I saw, it looked like the combination of the Hulk and the Jolly Green Giant.
Oh,
this,
wow.
this green man, okay, this really big green man. And the second that he saw that I saw him, he jumped up onto the bed. And that is the first time in my life that I felt like it startled me so much that I screamed, and like I got up and I ran out of the room, and I still had the blanket attached to me. Like, and so when I got back, when I got out of the room and now I'm in the hallway, I was able to like laugh about it. But it was just sort of a reflex, like, oh fuck, this thing, you know, jumped on the bed. Um, so, and then, yeah, so that just, I just thought of that
It
all of a
probably
sudden.
scared the daylights out of you, that experience, that happening like that, when you're
Yes.
not expecting it, you know?
And you know what? This is what I had this time in my life where these different correlating things were happening. You know, like that was, those were able to be around me. I was in a, like, you know, my parents, they were super dysfunctional. The dental office I was working at, the doctor was super dysfunctional, like toxic, like horrible, like really
Mhm.
not nice man. And a couple months before I moved there, okay, this is one of the experiences that really is really trippy in my life. I was riding a really beater beach cruiser bike, like very much beater.
Right.
When I was in Southern California, like on, you know, a trail that goes by like the beach, there was like the beach houses on the left side, and then the right side,
Right.
the sand, like a big long sand, and then the ocean. It was a nice day. I was just, you know, cruising along on this crappy bike, and I was pedaling and I was standing up. And all of a sudden I heard like this little tiny metallic sound. And in my mind, I thought, okay, the chain came off
Mhm.
and I'm probably just gonna have to stop and like put it back on. So I'm holding on to the handlebars, and I look down like this, and all of a sudden my handlebars went like twisted. The handlebars twisted, the whole tire twisted,
Mm.
and I have this memory still of like sort of a gentle, like a forward motion, more momentum feeling, and I slammed on the ground.
Oh, wow.
So something moved my handlebars, if that makes sense what I'm saying. I've been
Yeah.
riding bikes since I was a little kid. I'm like super athletic, really good at riding bikes. Something jerked the handlebars and I crashed really bad. I broke my jaw. So then I moved back home. And so there was these correlations of these really creepy, you know, different experiences going on. So yes, I've taken the time over the years to really learn all this stuff, like for real, because I only want good experiences in my life. I only want to deal with nice people. I want to have like um, good road trips. I want to have, if I go out into the woods, I want it to be a, you know, really magical experience or a very gentle experience. If I, you know, live in a house, and if I get a chance to help a spirit, it's a
Mhm.
good experience. Have you ever been? Okay, good question. I
Yeah,
have
that's a good
been
question. You
scratched
Well, you
twice.
got pushed on your bike, so, I mean, your handlebars got pushed, so that was one thing, but
Well, that was like, yeah,
yeah.
okay. So I've been scratched twice. One time I was living in a house where I felt something touch my leg, and in this particular house where I got scratched. And then I was outside one day, and my eyes happened to look towards the front door, and I saw this shadow figure, like he was peeking through the side window at me, and then he ran away. And so I was doing a lot of taking baths with lavender and Epsom salt. I was doing as much cleansing of myself as I possibly could to have my life shift away from there. And I started feeling a stinging while I was in the bathtub, and I got scratched on my like hip.
Oh, wow. While you were in the tub?
Yes.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been pissed.
It was
And
trippy.
you were also, you had like salts and
Mm-hmm.
essential oils while you were like in
Yes.
healing. Yeah.
So, yep. So that happened. Me too. I love lavender. Um, I used to hate it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, from one day to the next, I couldn't get enough. I can't get enough. It's like I could just bathe in it. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So I had a good experience with. Um, I don't want to call it even getting scratched. It was, but it was like I received like a symbol on my back. I was in Montana in 2020, and I was working. I just started working at this company that made herbs for like an herbal supplement for dogs, cats, and horses. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like loving it there, like loving to participate in something like that. And um, all of a sudden, like I felt like I think it was on my left, behind my shoulder blade, back here. I started feeling like something going on there, and so I reached back and I was trying to, like, how, I don't know, when you wear your bra strap or your swimsuit or whatever, it can, like, if it's tight, you'll feel it sort of digging in, like it's making a mark on your back. I thought maybe it's that. So later that day, I forgot about it. And then later that day, I started feeling like this tingling back there. So I stuck my phone back there and I was able to take a picture. And I was like, holy shit, that's like a symbol on my back. I mean, it was like, it kind of looked like a Z, but then there was these other like lines coming off of it. And in Reiki, you learn symbols. Part of the work is you use these specific symbols with the energy work. And I was like, that kind of looks like almost like a Reiki symbol, like. So I felt like this isn't a scratch. This isn't something bad. I felt that this isn't, but I didn't know. So I reached out to Facebook land and I said, is there anyone out there that's really good with symbols? So this couple we messaged, they're both medicine people. I sent them the picture, and then actually too, my coworker took a picture of it a couple days later, and you zoom in and you can see this. It's like a symbol on my back. And so they said, yes, it's a shamanic. Okay, well, sometimes what shamans do is a symbol will mean something, but they could also combine symbols to make their own. And so they said this is like two symbols put together.
Right.
And it was like the symbol meant purification and healing and giving and healing. And so then I had this sort of flash in my mind of like a badge, like in Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, brownies or whatever, like you earn a merit badge,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes on your sash. So I had this like feeling that that's what was going on. Like I received this badge, or I received this shamanic symbol for me, for protection and for then passing it along. Because all, purification, healing, that's all stuff I do and have done in my life, all that kind of stuff. So
Feeling all that, right?
yeah, so that felt really nice to know that was going on. Because there was some dark stuff in that town, and I feel like it was there to help me. I'm very connected to. I really am interested in learning whatever I can about the ancient people's way of life. And while I was there, I was binge listening to a medicine woman telling her teachings. And then I was also listening to the story of another medicine man I think he was from the 1920s or something like that. And so, I'm all about learning how to connect in very positive ways, learning how to be respectful and honoring. And then you have this reciprocity where you will be able to connect with the spirit guides and the helping spirits of the world and be helped along the way. And that's what I've been able to have happen, in my life.
Yeah. I
So,
truly believe. I truly believe if you're open-hearted and you have a warm heart, you have a kind heart.
mhm.
You don't have to be completely pure, but if you have a kind heart and you show humbleness, I think you'll no matter what experiences throughout life is going to be positive.
Well, you
Um,
definitely want to try to be as pure as you can, like meaning like being honest and trustworthy and not doing mean things to people. And the more that they know what you're about. So I mean, so when I go to land, if I'm walking around on land and I am looking around at the trees, and I just say out loud to the space, thank you for letting me be here. This place is amazing. And so then when you feel appreciation, they're going to know that about you, and they're going to be able to tune into who you are.
uh-huh.
So it's like a protection. So the it's kind of like you have people that you like hanging out with, and you don't should men stay away from lavender? No, I mean it's a good vibrational essential oil. I mean pick ones that you can pick ones that you like the scent of. I mean, but lavender is a good one. There's a lot of high vibrational essential oils. I like to combine frankincense and spearmint,
Okay.
and then you put it in your diffuser,
All
and
right.
it smells so good. It's very frankincense is one to have on, have with you, or have in your stock,
Mm.
and then you can add it. It doesn't lower testosterone. um, no, no.
We're getting close to where we're at, like an hour and 7 minutes. So if you have
Oh
any kind
wow,
of
already?
final things you want to touch up on, I know it doesn't feel like it, but an hour goes by fast.
Wow.
You know. Yeah.
Well, what kind of things were you wondering about for like the cryptids thing and metaphysics? What
I
can we talk
we
about
talked
that?
about like with portals, like how like Sasquatch or whatever kind of go into portals and like they disappear and that
Mhm.
kind of thing. Yeah, I mean that made sense to me. You know,
Okay, well, I mean, I could say, I don't like her energy. Okay, well,
I don't think that was you. I think that was something else that was said.
hi
You're
Tricia
good.
from from Bear Creek Road. No way. Are you talking about up in Santa Cruz Mountains? Wow. Well, wow. We have it. We have it on our stock. We have a ton of oils. Yes.
We have it all.
Yes. Yeah. So just what else?
Yeah.
You
Someone
know,
said, that wasn't that comment wasn't referred to you, so you're good.
okay.
No worries.
Like what is happening right now? I have good energy.
Yes.
No, so when you go out and you prepare yourself before you go do the thing, right? Before you're going to go out, you want to think good thoughts, you want to imagine it going well, you center yourself, you breathe, take deep breaths in and out, and you focus that you're going to have not each of my okay. Thanks. You want to think ahead about what kind of experience you want to have, right? What intention, what do you want to have? What kind of experience you want to have? You want to have a good experience? You want to, are you open to like connecting with the non-physical? Be open, look around, open your eyes, pay attention. Don't be staring down at, whatever. I like to not have fire sometimes, because then, the crackling sound is distracting.
Right.
You may not hear, so I was in um, South Dakota, and at a state park there, and I heard like something come up behind me. It had a high pitched sound, and then it went back. Like it was like came up to me really quick to like connect with me for a minute, and then it like jammed back out into the forest. And the guy that he couldn't hear it because he was too close to the fire. I don't know. I want to be able to be in as tuned in as I can
Yeah.
to,
Be aware of all your elements around.
yeah. I mean, I've had where I'm on paranormal investigation, and like we're there to like be there because it's haunted, and I look over and I see like an orb like floating around on the wall, and people are like looking down and talking to me. You're missing out. It's happening. When is high vibrational babies smile? When one is high vibrational, babies smile at you. Yes. Yes, I have it all the time. Like
Yeah,
babies stare at me. I love it. Dogs and cats like you. Yep. And low vibration people don't like you. Yes, totally. Yeah, yeah. I had to like really like work on my own self esteem for a little while because when you work in different offices or have to be around other people and yeah, if you're not feeling good and you're like around the happy person, you're gonna get like, and if you're like, it's gonna piss you off a little bit. Like, how dare you? Like, or so yes, I've really had to, it's something that you have to, know who you are in your own self and make sure to, connect yourself to the right people that that they're good people. And sometimes that's in your own vibration, your childhood, these patterns of people that you were around when you couldn't help it when you were a kid, and then you go about life and so it's like learning how to like look towards who you want to be around and the experiences you want to have, and ignore and get away from people and experiences that are not good. So
absolutely.
I don't know
And
if I
that
made any
makes
sense.
sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, so you stay positive, you stay around positive people, and
Hmm.
that won't bring your aura down. Because when you have a good, strong, high aura, a strong, bright, light aura, nothing can bring that down if you stay positive. That makes
It's
the
a
whole
combination of the spiritual side and also psychology, healthy psychology. That is what's happening, with it. And then like you've done your inner work, and so you can walk past someone that is not a good person, and then they could say something to you and you just know that's not me. That's them. That's their stuff. That's not my stuff. Happy people don't say mean things. Happy people say good things to each other, so
absolutely.
it's
Don't
a
make
it's a
fun of
practice.
hmm
um I was on a show called Stalked by a Ghost because I had, enough, experiences that they were able to, create this dumb, episode of me in it. But most of my experiences, and the more that I really practice this, the better and better and better, and the more mystical and the more exciting my experiences are. And the blood drips, I don't know. Just to me, it's possible a spirit came up, then pop back out. I don't know how that works, but how else are you going to explain these three blood drips out of nowhere? This kind of
Yeah,
stuff. It's just interesting.
that's wild.
I know.
Well, I had a good time with you tonight, learning some more stuff about metaphysical, Reiki, your healing,
Yes.
everything that you do is amazing. And like I said,
Yeah. And if anyone has any
Laura,
more, if I didn't go in, if you have questions, want to know
yeah,
more, feel free to
how can
message me.
how can somebody contact you if they have a question for you, they want to know more about
Well, we
whatever?
can start like, on Facebook Messenger is a good one. Tricia Brown, Tricia Brown, Brown, Free Spirit. That's how you can click onto mine. And then I have like a silhouette, or my picture is of a silhouette of a Sasquatch.
Okay,
And so, if you want a more detail, and if you like have a spirit issue at your house, I mean, I've helped a lot of people over the years with that, with what we're talking about here. And then I can like give you more, details on what to do with your own self, so that
right.
your vibration is staying high.
Yeah, some people might not feel comfortable to talk about it, like in a group of whatever. But so if someone has a question or if they have a problem with something,
I'd
they
be
want
happy to help, and I can
to be
help with
happy. Yeah,
other
you're very
things too.
helpful.
So
You're
yeah.
a very helpful person. You're kind. You're friendly with everyone. So I appreciate having you on. And we'll do this again, probably maybe after the New Year, after Christmas,
Good.
cool
Yay.
down.
I'd love
We
to.
have a little cool weather.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. Good
Thank
night
you.
to you. And you can just drop out once I drop this off. You could just leave the green room, the interview room. So
I don't have to stand there staring anymore.
I don't want to see staring at the screen for no reason. So you have a good night. It was a pleasure having you on. Thanks again. I had a great time.
Thanks. That was fun.
Take care, everybody. All right. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for showing up, everybody, tonight. We'll see you next.